Drivers, start your engines! And hello GT fans, we're at one of the most famous tracks in Austria. And we're about ready to get this race started. Orion qualified first, Nico qualified second, Mame, he qualified third. And let's do 9 laps of GT3 racing at the Red Bull Ring. And I'm surprised Orion was able to qualify first. Nico is usually the first one to qualify first here at the Red Bull Ring. And we are doing some night racing. And Orion did just pick up that half-second penalty. He must have cut that track a little bit. Side by side between Nico and Orion. And Nico is going to overtake. We just have to wait. It'll probably be before that penalty line, knowing Nico. And check out those rotors glowing. We are doing some night racing. I love night racing. Night racing is my favorite. And Orion and Nico still side by side going around these apexes on this first lap. And we are about halfway through, a little bit over. And Nico is chasing him down. He is right on it. Oh, Nico just overtook Orion. I knew it. He did have to wait for Orion to take that penalty, but he did it. And let's see if Nico can grasp onto this first place for this entire race like he normally does. And we are now on our second lap. Nico just overtook Orion right before that first lap ended. And now Orion is on the tail. He is on that chase like Nico was chasing him on that first lap. Exactly the same, bumper to bumper. And these two have already put on an amazing race so far. I haven't even looked at anyone in the back of the grid. Let's check them out real fast. I don't know, we might miss something amazing from these two. Dez, he's in third. He's ahead of fourth place by almost 1 second. Mames, CS. He's ahead of Iron in fifth by almost 1.5 seconds. All right, let's get back up to the front before I miss something. Okay, and it looks like Nico has pulled away. While I was looking at the back of the grid, Nico now has over a 1.5 second lead on Orion, and it is climbing. Nico was able to overtake Orion right before that first lap ended, as you could see. And that lead, like I said, it is going to continue climbing every single lap. If Nico is on his A game, he's got a 1 second penalty. Right, we'll see how this works out when he gets to that penalty line. And Dez overtook Orion for a second place position. Orion looking to reclaim that. And Mames, he caught up to first, second, and third place. He is now in third place draft. Mames just went off that track. He took that apex a little bit too wide. Iron behind him by a little over 3.5 seconds. And he's going to have to take that penalty. And Cliff, he's in 10th place. And he's trailing Victor in 9th by almost 6.5 seconds. And we are now on our 4th lap. Nico M has been leading since the beginning of the 2nd lap. Well, right before the beginning of the 2nd lap. He now only has less than a quarter second lead on 2nd place, Dez. Dez was able to take Orion's 2nd place position. And side-by-side racing, Nico and Dez. Dez tried that overtake, and he's going to continue. And they just crashed into the side of each other a little bit. Nothing too bad. And 1st and 2nd, they are flying around these apexes with precision. And Dez, he's at a 3rd place Orion by almost 2 seconds, a little bit over 1.5 seconds. And we are now on our 5th lap. Nico has been leading ever since the beginning of the 2nd lap. And he only has less than a quarter second lead on 2nd place, Dez. And Dez has continued to stay on his bumper. And if we talk about catching a draft, Dez, he is, side by side. And it looks like Dez did overtake Nico. Dez has that half-second penalty. He's going to have to pull away from him if he wants to keep that. And it's going back. Dez did just knock Nico off that track a little bit. But everything is fine. Nico is still in hot pursuit. And these two drivers had showed some amazing driving skills. And it looks like Mames just overtook Orion. And Orion just took it right back from him. Mames picked up a half-second penalty. Mames hits that barrier. And he takes off that track. He gave up. And Dez, still in that 1st place position, got that half-second penalty with Nico stalking right behind him. So as soon as Dez gets to that penalty line, Nico is going to overtake. And BMW versus Porsche. And Dez is going to be forced to de-accelerate at this penalty line. All right, Nico should be able to overtake now. Dez pulled off enough. Nico should have been worrying about staying on Dez's bumper for when that penalty line came. And we are now on our 7th lap. Dez just overtook Nico right there at that penalty line. Actually, Dez has continued to stay in 1st place. I thought Nico was going to overtake. at that penalty line. Maybe I'm just so used to seeing Nico overtaking everybody. But Dez is giving Nico a run for his money. Not much of a gap between them. About a little bit less than half second now. A little bit over half second. And third place, Iron. He is trailing Nico by almost 13.5 seconds. And fourth place, he's trailing Iron by a little over half second. Orion, he fell way back to sixth place, but he did not take off that track. And he's trailing fifth place by a little under 2 seconds. And Cliff is holding on as well. He did not give up. Cliff never does. He's in 8th place. Anything can happen. Cliff could end up in 1st place. I've seen Cliff do that before. That's how excellent of a driver Cliff is. And Smoke 409 went off that track, got back on, did a 360, and he's back on that track. He's back in the race. And we are now on our 8th lap. Dez still leading in 1st place. Now with a pretty good lead on 2nd place, Nico. Almost a 4-second. And at the beginning of the race, it was between Nico and Orion. Dez was up there in the ranks. Now Dez is in 1st place with a pretty good lead. Nico in 2nd. He's out of 3rd place by a little over 12.5 seconds. Now almost 13. Blim, 31. He is in 5th place. And he is ahead of Orion by almost 2 seconds. Cliff still holding on to that 8th place. And Dez going around his final turn on his 8th lap. White flag, we're on our final lap. Dez is in 1st place with almost a 4.5 second lead on 2nd place, Nico. And Dez has been able to pull away from Nico. There for a while, there was like a magnet on Dez's car. And Nico was attracting it. But Dez did break away. And I see Nico does have that half-second penalty. And we are on our final lap. Dez has this race if he can keep these apexes clean and he can avoid getting any penalties. And his tires do not look worn down too bad. Nico's are a little bit more worn. Nico's front tires are a little bit more worn. Dez's rear tires are a little bit more worn. That's the difference between Porsche and BMW. And side by side between Blim and D-Dopey Man. And D-Dopey Man is now in 3rd place. He overtook that on his final lap. And Dez going around his final turn. And he is headed towards that checkered line right now, over a 5-second lead. And your 1st place winner, Dez. 2nd place, Nico M. And 3rd place, heading around that final turn right now on his final lap. 3rd place, D-Dopey Man. 4th place, oh, Blim got him. Blim overtook him right at the checkered line. 5th place, Iron. 6th, Orion. 7th, Victor. 8th, Cliff. 9th, Hootie McNoob. He's got over a 31-second lead on 10th place, so I know he's going to get it. And your 9th place winner, Hootie McNoob. Quattro. He was pretty far behind. We will wait for him. As long as he's not like those other drivers that made one mistake and took off that track, he is a winner. And Quattro, he just went around his last turn, headed towards that checkered line right now. And your 10th place winner, Quattro. And Dez, Nico, Orion, all you guys did some excellent driving, everyone.